a chant to get you to our
I was trying, but it wasn't working.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What's happening, guys? How's New Zealand? Awesome. Thank you for coming back. Yeah. Well, it's awesome to hear. What's happening, guys?
So the main guy on that, I forget who's basing on his name right now, but he apparently wore a mask.
Maybe not there. So I think daddy issues.
And then when he sat down,
How would you react?
so it's like everyone.
What does daddy issues mean?
Daddy issues?
What does it mean?
Isn't that funny? It's weird. It's really, I don't know what.
Daddy issues are basically like.
No, I know what daddy issues are. Daddy issues encompasses a lot of things. But what do you mean when you say daddy issues?
Well, I was trying to put into the fact that Michael is coming back and how it's happening.
Oh, I see what you mean. I think you meant daddy issues in the sense that there's a baby and
Well, that would be a good
well, that's still daddy issues. So what's your question?
Michael's back.
Michael's back, yeah.
For Elijah.
Well, I mean, probably not favorable.
Could you elaborate on
Yes, but you need to give me a question. Give me a question.
I have a.
No, okay. Let me give you the question you gave me. Elijah's father's coming back. Does he have daddy issues like his brother? Yes, is the answer to that.
Yes.
Perhaps, probably. So how do I answer any further? To elaborate like any further? I'm sorry. I don't know how to give you any more. Even though you're gorgeous, I love you and I want to give you more, I cannot give you any more.
How was life? Mikaeli pulling away a little bit? Just
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting question. It's I think the tragedy right now is kind of the pretense of the tragedy. It's kind of like the fake grief of kind of like, well, you know, hey, we lost a child is almost sort of the equivalent of having actually lost a child, you know. So I think that's I don't foresee passionate romance in a time when we're in the wake of them kind of, you know, fabricating this ruse, which is, hey, we lost a kid. But the ruse is interesting because they're kind of like this crouched animal, you know. They're waiting to strike, especially under the leadership of Elijah, you know. It's going to be. It's a weird balancing act this season, I've noticed. It's a balancing act between kind of the relationships of these primary protagonists and the kind of the world and the war sort of closing in around them.
Do you have any thoughts? I was gonna say, do you have any thoughts about in 1920s when Rebecca and Klaus ran away from New Orleans? We saw in the flashback that Elijah stayed behind. Have the writer shared with you, or you had any thoughts in your mind what you were doing?
It's an excellent question and one I've been banging on the doors of the writers to supply me with an answer for, but I do not. I only have very small fragments which I cannot share, which aren't particularly exciting, by the way. But it's a great question. Thank you for asking. I guess come and work for me.
I know you can't say too much about it, but can you kind of set up Elijah's journey where he's headed?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's sort of continuing this quest to sort of restore his family to power. But I think that there's this sort of slow awakening that's happening in him. That's like, I'm not certain my brother's actually fit to do this thing that I've imagined he's been fit to do for like 12 years. That's got to be a strange personal apocalypse or something.
Pretty big revelation.
Can you tease any particular scenes with you and Joseph coming up?
Let me think about it. No. Hold on. Let me think. There is I want to be more fair than that. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can kind of let out of the bag. Shit. You have to understand, I've just done 5 back-to-back shows of like Saving Hope, and like before doing this. So right now my head is in medicine and being a doctor, and kind of so it's just odd for me to address the whole originals world. It's like it's so far in the rearview mirror right now that I'm like I'm not in the middle of filming, but I can only really talk to in a sort of generic sense, which is that Klaus doesn't want to wait for this war, and Elijah does. And during the course of their sort of silence, I think that these other factions have grown relatively strong, including the Wolves and including Marcel's ever-growing kind of anarchic army. And I think that's quite rightly like a great threat to Klaus. And Elijah would prefer to wait.
I wasn't a big fan of Phoebe, Elijah, and Haley's coming together. Though I kind of wavered to the end. Do we possibly see more of the connection with those two for this coming season, or is it going to waver off?
I don't know the answer to that. I sincerely don't know the answer to that, but I know that right now it's a very difficult place. It's weird because she's sort of pushing him away from her and demanding that he be there, and he's sort of trying to observe a degree of civility and see you later, and allow her sort of dignified grief, even though again she's not actually grieving a child, but it's kind of like, but in a way, can you imagine a new mother away from a newborn baby? That's got to be its own kind of grief. I don't think anything could be more dangerous than a woman taken away from her baby.
How have you been juggling Saving Hope
with beer? I'm getting here. I'm tired, I must say. There's a cute meme online this little dark baby boy, and he's kind of this, and for some reason, I guess he can't be any more than like 14 or 15 months old, but I guess the parents have positioned his fingers under his nose, and I think the meme says, and I'm going to misquote it here, but I think it says something like, how should I put this? You will never sleep in again, And it's so true. It's like there's a relative exhaustion to it, like you see with fatherhood. It's like it's a beautiful exhaustion because you get into like this beautiful new soul, but it's like it's like my wife put it the other day. You're always sort of awoken like somewhere in the middle of like that REM sleep, so you always feel sort of so exhausted. You never feel like it's not even about the quantity of time. It's not like, I got 5 hours last night, so I slept. It's like for some reason she always wakes you up in the middle of like I don't know, like the deepest sleep, but it's worth it. It's just so perfect.
I used to like waking you to something independent.
I want to, I just don't have any time. And thank you for asking that question. I would love to, I don't have any time because I have the shows and the publicity for them, and I have for this and my daughter. I'm going to do my very best to try and make some time.
Or just which one? The one that's just like right there.
Thank you, Dave.